Hello, everybody. This is Claudia, and I am making a series of videos to introduce the candidates for the SSCCC's elections coming up at the General Assembly in April of 2020. And I'm getting a chance to meet every single one of the candidates. Today, we have a very special person here with us. His name is Benjamin Blevins. He is the Director of Student, Student what?
Legislation.
I'm sorry, Director of Student Legislation. He actually just told me 5 seconds ago, and I completely forgot. 18 years old. He is from Grossmont College in Region 10, which is the southernmost region of the SSCCC. And he is running to be the Vice President of Legislative Affairs. Benjamin, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Claudia. I think it's very important that we have these discussions with the candidates. California is a very big state, and it's very hard to get to know everyone that's running, especially when everyone's lives are very busy. So thank you for doing this, and thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm glad you got a chance to take some time off. So I wanted to, first of all, set it up for anyone who's watching this for the very first time, who's never heard of the SSCCC, the Student Senate for California Community Colleges. In your own words, would you mind telling us what is the SSCCC and what does the Vice President of Legislative Affairs do?
Good question. So the SSCCC, also known, as you said it, as the Student Senate for California Community College, is the formal representation of the 2 million plus students in the California Community College system. That we have been recognized by the California Community College Chancellor's Office as the official voice of the students. And we are governed by our own board of directors. That is comprised of 10 LADs, or legislative affairs directors, and 10 RADs, or regional affairs directors, elected by the 10 regions. And then they work with 6 executive officers. You have the VPC, or Vice President of Communication, VPF, Vice President of Finance, VPRA, Vice President of Regional Affairs, EVP, Executive Vice President, the President, who leads the committee and is the chair of most meetings, and then you have the VPLA, which is the Vice President of Legislative Affairs. And the VPLA mainly works on the legislative side of representation, working for the students in the halls of the capitals and in the committee rooms to make sure that they are represented fairly and equally, and that our views are shared to every committee member and every legislator.
Very good. Well said. I would just like to add to that this is the first time that every single delegate from all 115 colleges are going to be voting on the executives. So whereas before it was just 2 people per region, I believe, so a total of maybe about 20 people would vote. Now every college is voting. So if you're watching this from a California community college, whether it be something in the South like Southwestern or City or Mesa, or someplace up north like Ohlone College or De Anza or any of those, this applies to you. And speaking of which, you come from Region 10, Grossmont College, and that is obviously the very southern region. It doesn't get any more south than that. Below that is Mexico, so you're right down south. And you're very well aware of what are the issues that are plaguing Region 10 students. I know you're very involved in that. But obviously, as Vice President of Legislative Affairs, a position that you're running for, you're going to have to be aware of what students from across the country are, what their issues are. So what are your plans for, not just sticking to your region, but finding out what regions 1 through 9 are facing?
That's a very good question. I believe that every person has this issue. Every person running for each position will encounter this roadblock. But I don't see it so much as a roadblock as an opportunity to learn. I want to learn from them. I want to speak to them. And because in all honesty, I don't know the issues that they're facing. I don't know what De Anza College is facing, what Butte College is facing. Those are college-specific problems that I would like to learn as I meet the delegates, as I meet the RADs and LADs. But I have learned in my own work and in my personal life that if it's a problem for one college, it's a problem for all, most likely. That is one piece of advice that I learned from my boss, Senator Amy Klobuchar. And she's running for president right now. She said that if it's a problem for one person, it's a problem for all. It's that I know that, student trustee enfranchisement is a big issue for a lot of regions because, those representatives are the direct representatives of the students at that college. But it does get tricky. So that's why I would like to work with district by district, region by region. Another issue, overnight parking for homeless students that live in their car, a safe environment where they can just sleep and, just get ready for the day. There are many more issues that are, of course, are region by region, but I want to learn by doing. And I want to learn by the people who have firsthand knowledge. So that's how I would approach those issues.
Very good. And it's interesting to mention Klobuchar. I think I was looking into the Iowa caucuses. I don't think we have the results yet, but I think she did better than expected. I was pretty surprised by that. So good job picking a boss.
Yeah.
So some people may not know this about you. You're very young. You come off as very mature, but they may not know you're actually 18 years old. You're a political science major. You were involved in student government when you were in high school. I believe you told me you were treasurer, and you graduated high school recently. So what is your response to any student, maybe some continuing students such as myself, who might be watching you thinking, 18, he's kind of too young, he's too ripe, he's not ready. What do you say to that?
I don't believe age should be a factor in anyone's decision to vote because the California community college system is so diverse in its inclusion in age. Students can range from 18 to 45 to 65. That's what makes the California community college system so great. And we also need to encourage people from all walks of life to be involved in student government at every level, whether it's your own ASG or SSCCC. We need everyone working together to make this big system of colleges work. So I don't believe age should really be a factor. I work with people that are of all ages, and we all have our strengths and differences, and that's what makes us unique. So I think my young age can be perceived by some as too ripe, but I believe that it's an opportunity. So,
excellent, well said. And as we talk about students and their busy lives, the things they care about, I know this is an issue for a lot of colleges, not just community colleges, but private schools, public schools, and this is a reoccurring theme, is that student leaders don't know how to get students to care or how to get them involved. I know in community college, it's a big deal. So, you're running for the vice president of legislative affairs, which is pretty governmental. Is it really, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, is it really a bad thing that some students just don't care? They're too busy with their own lives, taking care of their kids and driving to their second job to care about legislative affairs? Is it really such a bad thing? And if so, how come?
So everyone's life is busy. Everyone has something going on that no one knows about. But we as student leaders make an effort to care and to be aware of what's going on so that the people that are busier than us can continue being busy so that we can care for them. And it's an interesting way of looking at things, because if you do have two jobs, children, a family that you're having family problems with, you might not worry about someone else's parking situation or the governing board student trustees. You might not worry about, cybersecurity audits. But we take it into our hands as student leaders to make sure that you're aware and that you know what's going on that will affect you. So, and in my life, I am very busy, but I have taken account of what I can and cannot take on. And this is a position where I can give 120% of myself. And I think, as Claudia can say, and everyone else within Region 10 and Grossmont, and hopefully Southern California, everyone I've worked with can say that I'm in it for the long run. I'm not in it for the short term, but everyone's busy, and I take pride in knowing that if you are busy, we'll let you know what's going on. You don't necessarily need to know. But if this is a need to know subject, we'll let you know. So.
Excellent. And on that note, speaking about Region 10, I think transparency is important. So, in the interest of full disclosure, I want to remind the viewers that Ben and I are both from Region 10. And I've gotten a chance to see Ben work. And I want this to be a fair platform for every single candidate. Ben is very well aware of this. So, in the spirit of fairness, he's very well aware that I'm asking the tough questions because that's what other candidates are going to be asking, and that's what certainly I want to face. I've gotten a chance to see Ben in many Region 10 meetings, and he's ran for a couple of positions, a couple of leadership positions within Region 10, and he didn't make it, but he still came back. So, what would you say to any student leader who may be thinking to themselves, okay, this kid, he ran for different positions, and he didn't make it, and now he's running for this position. So it seems like he's just trying to find a position to fit into. Obviously, you have a lot of great plans for the region. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that in your closing statements. But and when not just one region, but all the regions. So what would you say to someone who's thinking, does he really need a position to do all the things he says he wants to do? I mean, can he just be a good student and help us out any way he can?
It's a great question. I ran for RAD for Region 10 against two of the best people, and one of those people won, and I couldn't be more happy with how he is leading the region. Then I ran for vice chair of the region the following month, or the following 2 to 3 months, and I lost by 1 vote. And unfortunately, the person who won actually has stepped down from government. And, I'm proud to say that, I am going to be running in that election in February. And I would like the opportunity of a position to stand up and speak on a bigger stage for students and to have a bigger microphone. I would still like to be able, whoa, hold on, I'm so sorry. I would still be able to work on the things that are important to me and are important to students like me. It would just come from a place less credible. Now, in order to have credibility within those halls, we do need titles, unfortunately. We need to come from a position of authority. But I am fully prepared to, if I do not get this opportunity to serve the students, which any of the amazing candidates would be an amazing choice. If I don't get that opportunity to serve these students, I believe that I can still do everything that I would like to do for the students. It'll just be a little bit harder, yes.
Oh, so very nice. And I think by now we've painted a good picture of maybe your personality, your leadership style. Obviously, we haven't talked about some of the real issues here. I wanted to do that over the series of videos. But what would you say to someone who's thinking perhaps of voting for you, but they're still kind of on the fence? I mean, what would you say they have to gain by electing you this April?
Well, I just firstly like to say thank you so much for any consideration you've given me, and I appreciate your thought into this very exciting time at SSCCC as we go from a representative democracy to a direct democracy. You gain the knowledge that I will fight tooth and nail for our interests as students. I have experience doing this. I was in California Model Legislature and Court, Model United Nations, the Aaron Price Fellows Program. I've interned for Congressman Peters, Senator Atkins, and Assemblyman Rendon, who is now the Assembly Speaker, and she is the Senate Pro Temp. I know how to do this, and I like doing this because I'm good at it. In my position as Director of Student Legislation, I can't even say it right. I have done this at a local level, and I'm prepared to do this at a state level. So,
very good. So I'm going to ask you a question that I will ask of every candidate who sits down with me for an interview. If given the opportunity, would you be open to engaging in a moderated debate with any of your opponents?
Of course. It's important to hear all viewpoints from everyone. I encourage my fellow candidates to give their viewpoints on the issues, and I look forward to a very lively debate. Hearing all sides is very important to any democracy that looks to sustain itself for the long run. And I believe that's what the SSCCC is trying to do.
Excellent. That's said. So, Ben, I want to give you the floor for just a moment, maybe about 30 or 60 seconds. Tell me a little bit about maybe a little tiny bit about you, some of the issues you want to cover, and just any reason why you think students should vote for you for Vice President of Legislative Affairs.
Well, thank you, Claudia. I would just like to say that this opportunity to be even running for this sort of position is an amazing honor. And I thank every one of you for even considering me. And I just want to say that I'm the right person to do this. I believe in my heart of hearts that I will be your cheerleader in the room where no one's cheering, because I've seen how dark a room that can be, and where students are just shut out of every conversation. And I want to bring students back to the table. We've won the war for representation. Now we need to win the battle for equal representation. And I believe that I am your candidate to do that, and to bring the SSCCC into a new year of representation for students. So if you want to follow my journey, my Instagram is Ben4VPLA, and that is also my Facebook. And then on there, you should see links to the website. I have a newsletter that I just launched. I'm very happy about it. So please follow me along at my journey, and hopefully I'll be coming to your region soon. And if not, I'll see you at GA.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ben. We'll be sure to include some of those links down in the description if any of you watching would like to follow Ben's journey. And I'd like to extend this invitation to anyone who's running for an executive board position in the SSCCC. I reached out to as many people as I can. Many of them have responded and said they're very open to engaging in a video. But if you're watching this and you would love to use this platform to issues you care about, please don't hesitate to send me a message. This is what democracy is all about. So thank you, Ben, very, very much for joining us. We'll be sure to include those links. And thank you very much for watching, everybody. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Claudia.
All right. Have a good night.